Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next page. We're going to be looking at question number 3. So these are questions that deal with shaded area. So for this first question here, I shouldn't need the calculator anymore. Okay, so for this first question, we're asked to determine the shaded area. So we want the algebraic expression that represents the shaded area between these two rectangles. So we have enough information here to deal with the area of our large rectangle and the area of our smaller rectangle. So here I'm going to look at area of big, and we know that the area of a rectangle is length times width, or you might know it as base times height. So area of big, that's going to be 4x plus 7 times x plus 2. So this is a level 2 multiplication. We're going to be doing 4x, that first term, times the entire second bracket, x plus 2, plus 7, so the second term, times the entire second bracket. And we're going to get 4x times x, we get 4x squared, 4x times 2, that becomes plus 8x. 7 times x, we get plus 7x. And 7 times 2, we get plus 14. Okay, so that is, oops, and then I have to finish that off. And then we have to combine our like terms. So we have two x terms. So we're going to get 4x squared plus 15x plus 14. So that's the area of our big rectangle. I'm going to find the area of our small rectangle. And that's going to be x minus 1 times 3x plus 1. And again, it doesn't matter the order that you write these binomials. If you had written 3x plus 1 times x minus 1, you're going to get the same thing. So don't worry about that. We're going to do that x times the entire second bracket, and then that negative 1 times the entire second bracket. So this is actually a good example to show you what happens here. So we get x times 3x plus 1, and then we get minus 1. So a lot of you are forgetting to write these little, the operation signs when you're expanding out your level 2 multiplication, and this is the spot where you end up making some errors, because when you have a negative, you're dropping that negative, and then the signs on half of your multiplication are off. So you need to be a little careful there. Okay, so we're going to have this negative 1 times this entire bracket, 3x plus 1. And then that entire negative 1 is getting distributed within that second bracket. So we're going to get 3x squared plus x, and then minus 1 times 3x, we get negative 3x, and then this one was a big mistake zone, was this negative 1 times this positive 1. This is a multiplication. You are not just adding these two together. I saw a lot of people just put 0 here because they saw negative 1 and positive 1. That's 0. But you're not adding them together, you are multiplying them. And negative 1 times positive 1, that is a negative 1. Okay, so now we're going to group our like terms. We're going to get 3x squared minus 2x, so x minus 3x, that gives you negative 2x, and minus 1. Okay, so that is the area of the big rectangle and the small rectangle. So now we need to find the area shaded. So area shaded is your area of your big minus your area of your small. And then the way you set this up is really, really important. So you should always use brackets when you are taking an algebraic expression like this and then sticking it into a formula, just to be safe. So 4x squared plus 15x plus 14, and then you're going to put that minus sign and use those brackets. So 3x squared minus 2x minus 1. And we're using those brackets because we're doing all of this minus all of this. So we really want that subtraction to be distributed to each piece that represents the small area. So now we can rewrite this without any brackets and with the proper signs. So all of the signs inside those second bracket, they all are going to change. So we're going to get minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. So our final answer ends up as x squared plus 17x plus 15. Okay, and just if you're curious, the way that I graded this is you get 1 mark for area big, 1 mark for area small, and 1 mark for area shaded. So the entire question 1 here is out of 3. Okay. So question 2, so again, we're looking for that shaded area. And this is the same type of thing where you have the big rectangle minus the little rectangle. Except in this case, for our big rectangle, we don't have our length here. Our length is missing. So we need to do a little bit of work to find that. We know that it's going to need to be this 12a plus 4 added to this little space here. And what we notice is that this little space is the same as this little space, which we can figure out because this is equal to this piece taking away this piece. So if the entire other side is 9a and part of the left side is 6a, then the missing side here has to be 3a. And if this is 3a, then that means this is 3a. And then if this is 3a, that means that the entire piece here, the entire length of the big rectangle, is 12a plus 4 plus 3a. So our total length is 15a plus 4. Now we have all the information that we need to find our two rectangles. So again, we need the area of our big. So I'll do that first. That's going to be, it'll be a length times width. So here we have 9a times 15a plus 4. So this is a regular level 1 multiplication. 9a times 15a, that's going to give us 135a squared. And then 9a plus 4, that's going to give us 36a. And then the area of our small, that's going to be 3a times 12a plus 4. this is going to give us 36a squared plus 12a. Okay, so now we have the two pieces and our area of shaded. That's again going to be our area big minus our area small. So we're going to get 135a squared plus 36a minus, and then our brackets, 36a squared plus 12a. So when we rewrite this, I'm just going to zoom in a little. We get 135a squared plus 36a minus 36a squared minus 12a. And our final answer ends up being 99a squared plus 24a. Okay, so that was question 3.2. Now for question 4, the area of the rectangle is 96 x squared y to the 8 plus 24 x y to the 4 z. If one of its sides is 8xy to the 4, then what is its perimeter? So it's important to figure out what your goal is in this question. The question's asking you what the perimeter of the rectangle is. And I even added in this little handy answer section that says perimeter equals. So you know perimeter is what you're looking for. So to find the perimeter of a rectangle, you need to do, either you can do side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus side 4, just add all the sides, or you could do 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Whichever one you used is fine with me as long as you end up getting a perimeter. So this makes you realize that you're going to need the length of the sides. The issue is that you only have one side. You don't have the length. But since you have the area, you can find the length because we know that area equals length times width, which means length equals area divided by width. So I'm going to take the area and I'm going to divide it by the width to find my length. So I'm going to do 96 x squared y to the 8 plus 24 x y to the 4 z divided by 8xy to the 4. I'll put my answer right here. And now I do need my handy little calculator. So now we have 96 divided, oops, I should clear that, 96 divided by 8. So we have 12. 12, that's for my number, and now we have to deal with the letters. So we have x squared divided by x. That's going to give me the 2 minus the 1 exponent here. I'm going to have just one x left over. Then I have y to the 8 divided by y to the 4. So I'm doing that 8 minus that 4. So I'm going to have a y to the 4 left. Does that look like a 4? 4. Plus, so now we have 24 divided by 8. That's going to give us 3. X divided by x, those cancel out. Y to the 4 divided by y to the 4. Again, those cancel out. And then we have this z left over. So that's what we have to write there. So this is our length. So we have this here as our length. And now we can figure out our perimeter. So our perimeter, 2 of these plus 2 widths. Plus 2 times 8xy to the 4. Now I shouldn't need my calculator. So we're going to distribute this 2. We're going to get 24. And remember, when you're doing this 2 times, you're only doing number times number. These exponents will stay the same. You don't touch those. So we just get that 24, and the xy to the 4 just comes down with it. Okay, 2 times 3, that becomes 6 z, and then plus, so 2 times 8, that's going to give us 16xy to the 4. Now you need to recognize that you have 2 like terms here, this 24 and this 16. They both have an xy to the power of 4 that you can add together. So in total, you have 40xy to the power of 4 plus 6z, and that is your answer. Okay, so we are almost there. We're looking at number 5 now. So the perimeter of the following triangle is 12xy plus 11. What is the algebraic expression that represents its area? So area, that tells us that we have to look at the formula for area of a triangle. So that's base times height divided by 2. When we look at this picture, we notice that we have the base, but we do not have the height. That's what we're missing. We need the height. So need height. Luckily, we're given the perimeter of the triangle, so we can figure out the height. So if the perimeter is all the sides together, well, if I take away, if I'm to subtract this side and then subtract this side, then I'm left with my height that I'm looking for. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the perimeter. So we have 12xy plus 11. We are going to subtract each side. So we're going to subtract 5xy plus 3. And we're going to subtract 3xy plus 8. There's a couple different ways to do this. Some of you also added up these two sides, got a number, and then subtracted that. That's fine as well. Both methods will work. So here we have these subtractions. We need to distribute our negatives and to rewrite everything without brackets. So now all my signs are going to change. I'm going to get negatives everywhere. And now you can collect your like terms. So these are like terms. Okay, so 12xy minus 5xy minus 3xy, that's going to give you 4xy. 11 minus 3 minus 8, that gives you 0. So 4xy is your answer for your height. So this height is 4xy. So now you have everything you need to find the area of the triangle. So you're going to be doing the base times the height. So we need to multiply these two. We're going to be doing 4xy times 3xy plus 8. And I highly suggest that you put in this divided by 2 right at the beginning, because a lot of you put in your formula. I saw this formula on your sheet, So I know that you know the formula for area of a triangle, but you still forgot to do that division by 2. So I would just put it in there. I know it's ugly, I know it takes up some space, but it makes sure that you don't forget to do it. Okay, so now we're going to distribute this. I'm going to get 4xy times 3xy. I'm going to get 12x squared, y squared, and then 4xy times 8. That's going to give us 32xy, and that is still divided by 2. So now we're going to do the division by 2. We get 6xy, x squared, y squared, plus 16xy. And that is the answer for the area. Okay, on to the final question, which is factoring. So to factor these two polynomials, the first thing you need to do is find the GCF. So what we do is we draw our fraction line, and we're going to find the GCF and put it, we're going to put it right here under the fraction line. So to find our GCF, we look at all of the coefficients here. So we have 30, 12, and 12. So 12 is the lowest one. We're going to write 12. We're going to make our little factor umbrella. It's going to rain factors. So our factors of 12, we have 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. So these are all factors of 12. Now we're going to start from the largest one. So we're starting with 12 because it's the biggest. Remember, we're looking for the greatest common factor, so the biggest one. Ask ourselves, does 12 divide every single term here? Well, 12 definitely divides 12, but it does not divide 30, so 12 won't work. Now we move on to 6. Well, we can definitely do 12 divided by 6. Can we do 30 divided by 6? Yes, it will give us 5. So 6 is our greatest common factor. So I'm going to put a 6 in here. Now the next step is to look at the variables. So here I have x's that are common to every term. So I definitely have enough. I definitely have an x. I just need to think about how many x's can I take away. So what you're looking for is the lowest exponent of x. That's going to be the maximum that you can take away, that you can divide each term by. So here, because this 3 is the lowest one, it means that I can take away a max of 3 x's from each of these, because this is the smallest one. So basically, you're really just looking for the smallest exponent of the common variables. So because each one has an x, you know that x is what you're putting, and then the lowest number on x is 3. So 3 is what you're putting. That's what we're doing. Okay, so that is our greatest common factor. We're done there because this y, well, only the last term has it. There's no y's anywhere else, so y is not common. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our answer. So our answer always has to look like a level 1 multiplication. So we're setting up those brackets. We're setting up that multiplication with the greatest common factor. And then the division that we do, the answer goes in the brackets here. So we need to do this division, 30x cubed divided by 6x cubed. That's going to give us 5, so 30 divided by 6, and then x cubed divided by x cubed. You don't write anything, they cancel out. Plus 12x to the 4 divided by 6x cubed, you get 2x. And then the last one, 12x to the 7y divided by 6x cubed, you get 2x to the 4y. Okay, and then that is the answer here. And then moving on to the last question. So here we're looking at the lowest number here. So the lowest coefficient is 1. Since our options are 3, 7, and 1, 1 is the lowest coefficient. So that's not a very exciting one. But then we have to look at the variables. So we have an x, an x, and an x. So x is definitely common. And then we're looking for the lowest power of x. Here we have a 3, a 2, and a 1. Keep in mind that is a 1. So 1 is the lowest degree on x. So that is your greatest common factor. So now I'm going to set up my answer. To remember that division goes in here. So I'm just taking away a power of x on each one of these terms. So my first one, 3x cubed divided by x, I get 3x squared, plus 7x squared divided by x, I get 7x. And then I get to the interesting part of the question where we have negative x divided by x. So a lot of you just left this blank, like it just disappeared. But you need to remember that negative x divided by x is equal to negative 1. X divided by x is not 0, it is 1. The same way 2 over 2 as a fraction. That is also 1. Okay, so over here, this becomes negative 1. And then that is your answer. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to post all of these solutions on OneNote so that you can look at the document as slowly or as quickly as you want to. And that is all from me. Happy studying, and don't forget to subscribe.